Rishi Sunak was once seen by many as the good guy of British politics during the pandemic, of course. He was a Teflon politician, with some tipping him for number 10. Yet, in a matter of weeks, his popularity for Britain's top job has plummeted. Once hailed as the biggest threat to the current Prime Minister Boris Johnson's term, Sunak is now in the eye of many storms. There are multiple newspaper reports on Sunak and his billionaire wife Akshata Murthy's private wealth. Sunak himself reportedly owns a £10 million property portfolio in his constituency of Richmond, North Yorkshire, with a £1.5 million Georgian manor in Yorkshire across 12 acres, including, wait for it, an ornamental lake. His wife, Akshata, daughter of one of India's richest men, has a personal fortune estimated to be around £300 million. That's about the same amount of cash as Mick Jagger. All of this wealth makes him one of the richest men in Britain. But is it right for a Member of Parliament to have that much money? Or does it make him out of touch with the voter? Is Rishi Sunak too rich to be Prime Minister? Mike Parry.
Well, I think there's some wealth envy in this story, OK? When you say, is he too rich to be Prime Minister, we want very successful people to run this country. And Rishi Sunak is very successful. He's successful in his own right in business. He worked in America and he worked in the City of London and created a substantial fortune. He was then very successful at picking a mate in life. He picked the daughter of a billionaire. His father-in-law owns ISIS, doesn't he? The massive international information company.
Right.
And is a billionaire.
And a software guru and all the rest of it.
Software guru and all that kind of stuff. He's also been a very successful politician. He was Chancellor before he was 40. He was 39 years of age. And the reason he became Chancellor was he'd been so impressive in what he'd done when he first came into Parliament. I think he was only there 6 years, and he'd obviously made his mark early on because he's very bright up here. Now, the situation regarding his wife, he didn't handle well. But the critical factor here is that you cannot have dual nationality between India and the United Kingdom. You can between the United Kingdom and the United States. You can between Australia and the United Kingdom. You can have dual nationality. You can hold two passports. But you can't if you're Indian. That's a strict rule within India. So she would have to have given up her Indian nationality if she had not opted for non-dom status. She's still a non-dom, by the way, but she's now agreed to pay up to £3 million a year on the earnings she gets from the dividends in her father's
she stays
company.
Non-dom, but she skips the financial perks.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. That's what she's done voluntarily. So, I'm not attacking Rishi Sunak saying he's hidden things and all that. You've got to remember that one of the reasons this country does so well financially is that we're very attractive to rich people. That's why so many Russians came here, because they know our banks are safe. Their money won't get stolen like it gets stolen in Russia. But also people from India, from the Middle East, they come here because they know we are fiscally a great country. And every country in the world is competing to attract wealth and attract wealthy people. And to do that, you have to have a sensible and realistic tax structure.
Well, an attractive one.
Yeah, an attractive one.
Say it, Mike.
An attractive one.
We want these people to spend their money here.
Of course we do. If people come here and invest billions, literally billions...
And buy Rolls-Royces and Lamborghinis.
And buy huge houses and send their children to our best private schools, paying lots and lots of money, then we want to attract them and bring them here. The only way you attract them is to make sure they don't get penalised for their wealth, because if they do, they'll go to another country. So I'm not against Rishi Sunak on this. I think he should have handled it better in the way it was unveiled.
Correct.
But I am not against the actual position of him and his wife, and I don't think he's too rich to be Prime Minister, although I think he's made other mistakes.
Rebecca Jane, is Rishi Sunak too rich to be Prime Minister?
I'm a little on the fence, which I'm not usually, but I feel like I am.
Can we get you like a paracetamol or something? Maybe smelling salts. Get Precious back in, shall we?
For goodness sakes, I don't know what's happened. It's so difficult for me because I really like him. And I thought he'd be a really good choice, actually, instead of Boris, because, I'm no fan of Boris in the slightest. However, I kind of, do feel like he is a little bit too rich to
But who cares if he's the best person to do the job?
Here's why I care. I do think he would do a very good job. However, I think that our whole Conservative government is a little bit out of touch with the general working class person. And I feel like if we continue with him taking over, we will continue down that path. I feel like we need a bit of
a red wall.
Hang on a second. I feel like we need a little dose of reality. And I feel like these people need to actually, you know, Edwina Currie, she needs to come to Burnley. She needs to see how people
Reality
live.
and perhaps empathy as well.
Yeah, just a little bit of understanding. Go and live their lives. He hasn't lived their lives. He doesn't know how hard it is. He doesn't know how difficult it is to choose between heating or eating. Go and give it a bash, and then maybe let's talk about him being Prime Minister.
Chris Akabusi, you're a very successful and in-demand motivational speaker. You'll be inspiring many of your audiences to achieve what Rishi Sunak has achieved. This guy was not born with a silver spoon in his mouth. His mother was a pharmacist. His dad was a GP, and he made millions in the city. It's a coincidence that his missus is a billionaire. But what's the problem with Rishi Sunak's success?
No, I've got a problem with his success at all. And he's not too rich, as far as I'm concerned, to be Prime Minister. And I mean, I think perennially anyway that lots of incumbents at number 10, right from the beginning, have had lots of money. No, he's not too rich. He's too green to be Prime Minister. The fact that this has caught him unawares and that he's bristled and he thinks it's unfair. No, Mr. Sunak, the people who are competing against you are on manoeuvres. And you need to get on the manoeuvres too.
Yeah.
He should have seen this coming and headed off at the pass.
Bit wet behind the ears. But I personally don't think it's game over for Rishi, but I do think he's on the ropes.